So let me guess, you've probably heard from endless gurus that you need to have the most personalized messaging to be able to book calls and have successful outreach. Well, the simple fact is it's not true. You don't need to pay for all these expensive applications like Clay to be able to book calls. And just want to show you what I'm talking about here, just within this simple graphic, the endless cycle of outreach. So it always starts with simple human proof based messaging, something that is around 20 to 50 characters long, 15 to 30 words long, that's just saying, "Hi, I've done this for this example client. Would this be something you're interested in?" Something incredibly simple, incredibly human, and just being able to outreach to people saying that you've done it before and just seeing if they're interested. It's incredibly not pushy. Then after a while, it does become too generic. People are saying, oh, they're sending this to everyone. So then it just becomes underappreciated, undervalued. And then that's kind of when we get into a lot of these AI tools of we're going to find the exact signals that you have found that people prove that they need your system, so on and so forth. So then people buy into a lot of these systems being able to do outreach for them where they're talking about specific case studies and specific signals that they've found and what it looks like. And then after a while, the entire market ends up doing this. So then intent signals and personalization are all seen as AI based. And when people are looking to do outreach and they're seeing all these very specific things about their prompt, about their outreach in general, a lot of them can be seen as helpful. But a lot of the times when people are seeing these specific signals, they're picking up the idea that, oh, someone's probably using this outreach to find my intent signals. And then they're just taking them and chalking them up as also becoming too generic because they just assume instead of becoming too generic that they're too generic because they're all using this AI system and not really caring. So then it always brings us right back to the simple human proof based messaging. I've seen this happen within the last couple of years of outreach where a lot of people are just sending out these very simplified messages and they're being more effective than a lot of these AI based intent signals that take so much longer to be able to build out. And I didn't want to just tell you about this, but I wanted to show it to you and prove it to you. So in this campaign, you can see here within B2B marketing and advertising, for example, these are the numbers that we were able to get, which is a pretty good campaign that we have. So contacting around 5,000 leads within 120 people that replied to us, and then 9 unique positive replies. We're able to book 6 calls from this. So most of the unique positive replies ended up booking calls. So 1 call per less than 1,000 leads is pretty good numbers for what we're looking at here. And just to show you the exact script that was the reason for these are these 3 simple ones that had nothing to do with intent signals. Just simply, I've done this before. Are you interested? So hi, first name. The reason I'm reaching out is because I built or put together an outbound system for a marketing team that generated 15 calls a month. And I'm sharing you the system that we built, a consistent or predictable pipeline. Do you have time this Wednesday for a quick 15-minute chat? Also, quick pro tip. The reason I'm using these spin taxes here is because it will give you one or the other that it will produce. So when I look in the preview, it will just simplify the message. The reason for this is to A/B test specific messaging tactics you want to use, as well as helping deliverability. So systems like Google are not seeing that you're sending out the exact same message with just different name each time. They're also being used with different variables here. Also, what if we can add 15 booked meetings on your calendar next month? I work to be a B2B startup, generating 60 qualified demos a quarter, and I run the entire system for your company. Would you like to see the video on how this works? Again, these are all very simplified outreach strategies that you can use to be able to book calls that don't require you paying $500 a month, $1,000 a month to something like Clay, but you can also be able to just use this, especially at the start. I really recommend this for beginners. So be able to take this into account